Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome to Starting EVE Online. So I've been playing the game for around 4 years and I finally decided to fill the third character slot on my account, and I created my new character here, Shizuiko, and I'm going to take this opportunity to rediscover the game from a new player's perspective, and hopefully I can then make some good videos that can help new players or people that have never played the game to understand the beginnings of the game a little bit, and I'll explain maybe like why I'm doing certain things or what I've been doing and what your options are and all of that good stuff. So first of all, the first thing you want to do is to get your training queue going, because that is actually what you pay for. This is why you're either subscribed or what 20-day trial account is going to provide you with. Is really your biggest asset. It's those skill points and those skills. So for me, of course, it's a little bit different because I am on a single account here. If I want to press apply, I can either buy a Plex from the market or go to the account management page and activate a second skill queue that way. I don't want to stop my main skill, so I did give my new character enough money to buy one Plex, and I bought it in Dodixie, and then I'm going to activate this Plex. So let's press activate Plex, and we want to activate an additional training queue. So let's activate that, confirm it here. Additional training for 30 days is going, so hopefully that's this one. Open training queue, and if I press apply, there we go. We're actually learning a Galente frigate for level 2 and level 3 and level 4. It's obviously as a Galente character, it's one of those base skills that's also going to help you keep your queue filled for more than a day. So now I can add small skills in between there, but getting Galente frigate to 5 is actually a good idea to make sure that your training queue is constantly training, even when you're sleeping or if you're maybe not playing for a day or something like that. So there we go. Let's also enter the ship hangar, and this should be how you start the game. Aura is here to help us in our first steps. You should start out in a pod, and yeah, she'll give you your first starship, weapons and defensive modules, a brand new skill to train, funds to start you off with, and then yeah, I can click next to proceed. So let's do that. Let's see, current tutorial state is always saved, and you can move this tutorial window wherever you like. Okay. The bar is called the Neocom. That's the sidebar over here. Obviously some of the settings did come over, but we'll see what I do need to change. I adapted my chat windows a little bit already, but other than that I didn't change too much, I think. Some of the buttons may blink if they have new information in them. Alright, click next. How to use rookie help and other channels. Obviously I'm not a completely new account, so I don't have rookie help. But basically, if you go for this this little icon over here on the right side, you can start adding new channels. I would highly recommend something like the help channel, and from there you can ask all your questions and find your way in EVE Online. Next up, starting the first mission of your certificate course. They show me the agents. The available agent is Aura. Click next when you've opened a conversation with me. Alright, we'll open a conversation, and I will click next, I guess. The following objectives must be completed to finish the mission. Fly to the location in space, retrieve your ship, and use it to carry back an item from a local Galente cargo rig. Alright, so that's actually quite a lot to do for the very first mission, but alright, let's also press next here. You now need to accept the mission before you can carry it out. So all I have to do really is press accept, and then you can read the entire text, but usually at the top and the bottom is where the most important information is going to be. So click next when you've accepted the mission and closed any unnecessary windows. So we'll accept the mission, we will close the mission, and we will press close the window here, and we'll press next. When you undock for the first time, you will enter space in your capsule. And now that you're ready to undock, you can exit the station by pressing a click next when you've actually undocked. So let's do that. Let's just follow what the new player would also experience in EVE Online for the first time, and I'm just gonna try and maybe help some people get a smoother start, or help people yeah, give them the courage to give EVE Online a go if they've heard all about this huge ceiling of difficulty that EVE Online is. I'm gonna try and show you guys that it's actually not that difficult. Click this button to undock, that's actually alright, so we can get rid of that. And then I can click next. You can rotate the camera with the left mouse button. You can zoom in and out with the middle mouse wheel. Obviously, that's working like that. Next up, the other main tool is the overview. It started off really small, like this maybe, so I would suggest trying to get the entire height of the window going here. Click next when you're comfortable with the overview. I'm comfortable with the overview already. You can of course see you've got several stargates here, you've got the station, that is right here. And yeah, maybe that it's not standard, but one thing I do find very useful at this point, you can press C and then the camera will automatically zoom to what you have selected. For instance, here is the station. Next up, it's another capsule, so someone is doing the same thing I am. We also have a few mobile depots hanging around. So that's with the C shortcut. You can actually have the camera zoom in on whatever it is you're selecting in the overview. Very handy button and setting. Maybe it can help you, because right now, if you without it, if you select stuff from the overview, you don't actually really intuitively see what it is. So yeah, I would maybe suggest that you do that. Let's see. Click next when you've inspected the selected item. So yeah, over here for instance, I can go for a velator and then I can choose to approach him or orbit him with all the different buttons. So you can also look at someone else's capsule and then look back at yours, or you can look at the mobile tractor unit, and this is how you will interact with a lot of stuff once it is actually available on the overview. So let's press next here again. How to identify objects in space. Every object in space is represented by a bracket. You can see this broken square is a capsuleer. Alright, so basically, yeah, everything you'll see in the overview, you will also see it floating around in space. The different icons mean different types of objects. Stargates have this icon right here, circle with an arrow in it. Click next when you familiarize yourself with the brackets. I don't think people actually need to take that much time to understand this. Using your warp drive to move around the star system. Now you will engage your warp drive, allowing you to quickly travel to your mission objective. Locate the agent missions listing in the upper left corner. That's over here. We've got agents missions. Click next when you've started to warp to your destination. So you can just click on the mission covering the basics, warp to location, and I will be underway, and I can click next. Let's go to a few more basics, such as the radial menu. Can be very handy. Here again, you can use the radial menu and stuff in the overview, and including a warp to button becomes available here. Press next when you have left warp and are ready to try it out. Okay, we'll see. We'll give it its chance, of course. These icons over here, for instance, open cargo, orbit, and all of that. So I'm not alone here, I'm with another velator. I'm ready to press next. Your ship is waiting. To board the ship, bring up the radial menu by pressing and holding. Oh, okay, so it's actually my velator, that's right here. And then I can press on it and board ship. There we go, we're in our first ship. Press next when you've boarded your new ship, so we'll do that. So yeah, basically this is really how you should spend your first moments in EVE Online. You should follow those tutorials very closely, and you can always, if you don't want to spend too much time reading all of the text, I do suggest you always check out click next when you activated the acceleration gate and started to warp. I mean, for me that's pretty easy. I can again go for the radial menu and press activate gate. If you don't exactly find what you need to do, or if that's not intuitive just yet, then yeah, just take your time to read through the entire window, find out what you have to do, and only press next when it's done. So I am in warp, so I'll press next. The approach command works on any object in space. Once you have arrived inside the final area, you will see a structure nearby, etc. Click next when you've started to approach the structure. So I'll just press that. I can choose approach and I can press next. To access the content from the structure, and that's how you open up a cargo. It's really wanting you to use the radial menu, so why not actually do that? So here we go. Once I've opened up the cargo window, I need to be within 2,500 meters. There we go. It's open, so I'll press next. Next, when you've looted the item, obviously I think a lot of players will be familiar with that part. Let's actually also put this a little bit proper here, like that. I've loaded the item. When you started to warp back to the station, so again here you can do all of this with the radial menu. And I could have also opened up the cargo from the overview over here. So I'm warping back. Click next when you've docked at the station. So I need to wait for that a little bit. And this is the rookie ship in the meantime. These free ships always come with a basic weapon and a basic mining laser. The one you're in right now doesn't have any equipped, but you'll be given them shortly. Okay, let's warp towards the station, and here you can see only one station in the system, University of Kai. I do remember the first time you actually warp back to a station and you see the size of these things. You see other people flying around them. It's actually a pretty impressive sense of scale. Don't be intimidated by that. It's actually pretty good. So press next when you've undocked the station. Your reward will be a skill book. Press next when you've completed the mission. So over here I can again double click aura, complete this mission. I'll close this for now, and I've completed the mission. Skills need to be trained, so click next to begin basic skill training. Okay, that's a little bit weird. She actually wants me to do stuff here. Alright, we'll just press next. I guess I'm ready to do that. This is your inventory window. I already did that in anticipation. Click next when you've started training the skill. So the entire process that is explained here is that you open up your inventory, you open up your training queue, and then you add the skill to your training queue, and you press apply, and you would be starting to learn repair systems up to level 1. So there we go, we will do that. Click next when you've started training the skill. Again, you can close everything. I do think that's okay to keep it all manageable. So let's press next because we've done all of this. More about skills. Click next when you've read this page. I mean, I'm not going to read the entire page here. Request a new mission. Click next when you've accepted the next mission. Head to the location space, start destroying the fuel depot, and then move on to destroy the pirates in the next area. I will accept this, and this is a little bit weird, but maybe it's after I press next here. Alright, now they'll show you about fitting. Okay, now I was wondering when will we get that. Click next when you've opened up the fitting service. And so this is basically how you will arm your ship, provide it armor and all of that good stuff. So next here again, and in my inventory window I have a light electron blaster and a small civilian armor repair. Just drag them on your ship. Click next when you found the items in question. That's done. Click next when you fitted both of the modules to your ship. That's as well. This allows me to close all of this again and undock. Here we go. And I can press next when I have undocked, which will be shortly. So yeah, it's all going pretty damn smoothly right here. Click next when you've arrived at the mission location. So again, we go for agent missions. Warp to the location. And yeah, I will finish this mission, I think, for this first introductory video. But at this point, you know, you've already actually covered quite a lot of the basics, and we'll end up with the first action in EVE Online. But yeah, you're training your skills. That's probably one thing you do want to get right from the start. You'll just feel like you've wasted time if you allow the skill queue to run out from training. And so that's one thing that's probably the most important part. Next up is getting in the ship, fitting it, flying around, doing missions, and yeah, this will basically get you through the basics. So again, I've arrived here. At the mission site. Right, interesting. This is new from when I first did the tutorials, but I need to put charges into my weapon. These used to fire nothing. So click next when your weapon has been loaded. All I have to do here is right click, antimatter charges are being loaded. You can see the countdown right here. Boom, 200 charges are in there. I can press next, and now I have to activate the acceleration gate. You'll probably use the radial menu for that, and click next when you've activated the gate. Alright. Your first objective is to destroy the fuel depot. Click next when you've opened fire. So we'll need to arrive there, locate this depot, and then start firing at it. And there it is. Tutorial fuel depot. Left click, let's see. You must establish a sensor lock. And oh, you can again do that with the radial menu. You can lock the target, and then to open fire you can just press your weapons, and there we go. So I'll press next. Once you've destroyed the fuel depot, I'm going to cause some damage to your ship. Don't worry, we're going to learn how to repair it. Click next when you've blown up the depot and taken some damage. So just a couple more shots here. The first shots in EVE Online are being fired. Would be good if you actually hit it. There we go, the fuel depot explodes. Exactly what we want to do. And now we just need to wait for some damage to happen, and there it is. So I can press next. Click next when you activate your repair module. That's actually pretty easy. It explains a lot of stuff that will actually be pretty intuitive. So yeah, let's just activate the repair module, and then you can see your armor start to come back. So I can press next here again. Click next when you've deactivated the repair module. So it'll want to do that while all of this is happening, while it's repairing your armor. It probably wants you to read all about armor, shield, hull, resistances, and all of that will be explained here. When you've entered the next area, you'll be attacked by hostile ships. Alright, let's activate that gate, deactivate this. Press next when you've activated the acceleration gate. Just like with the fuel depot, you need to target the ship and then activate your weapons. Bring up the radial menu, then click your weapons to activate it. If you can also use the radial menu to approach the ship and get into better range. So yeah, click next when you've eliminated both enemies. So let's try and do it the way the tutorial is teaching new players to do this. So we'll target it, we will approach it with the radial menu, and then we'll start firing. Oh, it's actually not in range, so I need to retarget this. Oh, there we go, it actually remembered that. Okay, that's interesting, look at that. It actually remembered I wanted to lock that despite not being in range, and it remembered that I want to fire at the enemy, and it starts doing that right away. So there we go, let's keep approaching that saboteur. My optimal range is 500 meters, so yeah, we definitely want to be right on top of him. That's one that has been exploded. Another thing you could do is of course orbit at 1000, target him. Maybe I'll set the default orbit to 500 meters so that it's better. Re-give the orbit order and start firing at the bandit saboteur here again, which you can see is a pretty cool Tristan hull, which we could get pretty quickly. And over there you can see my ship approaching and firing at that Tristan, and then soon I'll start orbiting him at 500 meters. Boom, he's down. I can press next here again. Once you've destroyed the enemies, your work here is done, and I can again dock at the station and completed the mission. So yeah, we'll dock up, complete the mission, and yeah, the very first steps of a new player in EVE Online. Don't be afraid to explore all of this, but follow this to a T. Follow these tutorials, do them. You'll only regret skipping any of these steps. I know that Katsuko, when he started, he just skipped through the loading of munitions in his weapon. And I think he must have still been docked or something like that, because he couldn't get them in his cargo bay anymore. So yeah, follow this really very closely. Always read the last sentence here. Click next when you've clicked complete. So I'm not going to do anything else but dock, complete the mission, and only click next after that. It's really, really crucial if you don't want to be completely lost in the game to actually do this step by step. So I will press complete the mission, then I'll press next. It will be about replacing your old repair module with a much better one. And yeah, we'll maybe pick this up in the next video, or I'll show you guys a little bit further along. Depends on how I want to do all of this. But yeah, there you go. I'm starting a new character. I've got some specific plans with him. More on that later. But for now, thank you very much for watching. If you're new to EVE Online, good luck out there, and I'll see you all next time.